Hello my BookTube friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin. In this video we are going to be going over my art fantasy bingo TBR. I figured I would do an extra video this week since I saw it over the weekend and go through what I possibly will have on my TBR for the art fantasy challenge from April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026. The first prompt is Knights and Paladins. One of the protagonists is a paladin or knight. The hard mode is the character has an oath or promise to keep. I picked A Dance with the Fae because apparently the main male character is a paladin. The second prompt is Hidden Gem, a book with under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. New releases and arcs from popular authors do not count. Follow the spirit of the square. Hard mode, published more than 5 years ago. I went with Flame and Shadow by S.M. Gaither. It has 847 reviews on Goodreads. I got this from a Stuff Your Kindle event, and when I heard one of the booktubers that I follow talk about this book, because I think she got it from a page and Wix subscription, it sounded really good, and I can't wait to read it. The third prompt is published in the 80s. Read a book that was first published anytime between 1980 and 1989. Hard mode, written by an author of color. And I went with Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett because I've been hearing nothing but good things about his writing style. And I wanted to get into The Witch's Tale, and you don't have to read the first or 2 books in the series. So I figured I'd start with that, and if I really like his writing, I'll go back to the first 2 books. The fourth prompt is High Fashion. Read a book where clothing, fashion, or fiber arts are important to the plot. This could be a crafty main character or a setting where fashion itself is explored. Hard mode. The main character makes clothes or fibers. And the book that I found was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Apparently one of the characters, I believe, sews. The fifth prompt is Down with the System. Read a book in which a main plot revolves around disrupting a system. Hard mode, not a governmental system. And I'm going with Morning Star by Pierce Brown because I read the first 2 books and I really want to continue since I was given the 2 books after Morning Star to read. So I really want to get to more in the series. The sixth prompt is Impossible Places. Read a book set in a location that would break a physicist, the geometry, a non-occlusion, the volume, bigger on the inside, the directions, merely a suggestion. Hard mode. At least 50% of the book takes place within the impossible place. And I went with Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinman. I've heard such great things about this book, and it reminds me of like 70s or 80s movie or TV shows. So I think I'm going to get a kick about reading this series. The seventh prompt is A Book in Parts. Read a book that is separated into large sections within the main text. This can include things like acts, parts, days, years, and so on. But it has to be more than just chapter breaks. Hard mode. The book has 4 or more parts. I went with This Will Be Fun by E.B. Hacher. I heard this goes from past to future, and it sounds like a nice cozy read. The eighth prompt is Gods and Pantheons. Read a book featuring divine beings. Hard mode. There are multiple pantheons involved. I went with Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson because I've been wanting to read more of his standalones to see if I like his writing style more to continue with some of his books. The ninth prompt is Last in a Series. Read the final entry in a series. Hard mode. This series is 4 or more books long. And I went with Her Rating Curse by Elizabeth Lim. This one is the prequel to the Six Kingsman Cranes duology. And I've been wanting to get to this book to see what happens before the Six and Cranes duology series. And the 10th prompt is Book Club or Read Along Book. Read a book that was or is officially a group read on our Fantasy, every book added to their Goodreads shelf and or on the Google sheet, they have on Reddit where you can click on the links. And I also have a challenge on Storygraph that I will leave on the link below so you can see all the links I'm talking about. And the hard mode is read and participate in the Art Fantasy Book Club or read along during the bingo year. The one that I saw that they had one year was Sword Heart by Tinker Fisher. That's the one that I'm going to pick. And I think I can say if I do not like this book, I probably am only going to like one book from Tinker Fisher, because everything else I've checked out by Tinker Fisher is just not for me. But I think I'm hoping that this one I will actually like. The 11th prompt is Parent Protagonist. Read a book where a main character has a child to care for. The child does not have to be biologically related to the character. Hard mode. The child is also a major character in the story. And I have heard that The Sword of Kage by M.L. Wang will work for this prompt. And I can't wait to get to this book because I've heard such great things about Emma Wang's writing style as well as her story. Since she has, I think, Over Brighthaven just came out, and I'm looking forward to getting to one of her works this year. And the 12th prompt is Ebistoleri. I am sorry if I'm trying to pronounce that. I see that. Make a castle.
Castle.
The book must prominently feature any of the following: diary or journal entries, letters, messages, newspaper, clippings, transcripts, etc. Hard mode. The book is told entirely in story format. And I went with Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons, because I've looked it up on Google and apparently it has letters and journal entries in the story, like the Natural History of Dragons series. So I'm looking forward to getting to that book. 13th prompt is published in 2025. A book published for the first time in 2025. No reprints or new editions are included in the prompt. Hard mode is it's also a debut novel, as it's the author's first published novel. I went with The Rose Bargain by Sasha Penton Smith. I've heard such great things about this book. When it was being compared to Bridgerton with Quill Prince and the selection, I really was like, I really want to read this book. And the 14th prompt is Author of Color. Read a book written by a person of color. Hard mode is read a horror novel by an author of color. And I changed this prompt because I'm trying to stick to my Kindle or my physical TBR. And for some reason I don't have a lot of authors that are colored. So I switched it with Romantasy. And I picked Dire Bond by Sable Thoresen. This looks really interesting because it was compared to Fourth Ring with A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I can't wait to get to that story. 15th prompt is small press or self-published. Read a book published by a small press or self-published. If a formerly self-published book has been picked up by a publisher, it only counts if you read it before it was picked up. Hard mode. The book has under 100 ratings on Goodreads or written by a marginalized author. And the book that I picked was Feathers of Dawn. Give me a minute, I gotta find the author's name, which is Jess Galaxy. And it's a cozy dragon story. So it sounds like it's up my alley. I just finished the Baby Dragon Cafe and it was really good. The 16th prompt is Biopunk. Read a book that focuses on biotechnology and or its consequences. Hard mode. There is no electricity-based technology. And I went with Scarlet by Marissa Meyer because I know there is robot technology in the story and I wanted to continue the series since my daughter likes retelling, and this one I believe is about Riding Hood, I think. The 7th prompt is Elves and or Dwarves. Read a book that features the classical fantasy archetypes of elves and or dwarves. They do not have to fit the classic tropes, but must be either named as elves and or dwarves or be easily identified as such. Hard mode. the main character is an elf or a dwarf. I went with the classic Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I finally got all the books, Hobbit, as well as the 3 books in the Fellowship of the Ring series. And I would like to get to this book. I've heard such great things. I have watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy so many times that I am looking forward to actually reading it. I am probably going to listen to an audiobook as well, since I heard that the person that does Gollum is the audio person that does the audiobooks. So I can't wait to get to that series. The 18th prompt is LGBTQIA protagonist. Read a book where a main character is under the LGBTQIA plus umbrella. Hard mode. The character is marginalized on at least one additional axis, such as being a person of color, disabled, a member of an ethnic, religious, cultural minority in the story. And I went with Physics Keeper by S.A. Macklin, and I only looked at the genres, and it said it was LGBTQ. Did not want to look at any spoilers, so I think one of the characters, or the main character, is LGBT, but I didn't want to look at spoilers, so my guess is the person is. 19th prompt is 5 short stories. Prompt is any short SFF story as long as there are 5 of them. Hard mode. Read an entire SFF anthology or collect. And I'm going with The Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, Sarah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's like 6 authors, because I've been wanting to read this series, and it'll make me wanting to read I think it's Lord of Shadows and Queen of Air and Darkness, so I can get to that book. But I've been wanting to get to it because it has the Infernal Device characters. And the 20th prompt is Stranger in a Strange Land. Read a book that deals with being a foreigner in a new culture. The character must be either visiting or moving in as a minority. Hard mode. The main character is an immigrant or refugee. And I went with Never by Jessa Hastings, because the main character is going to Neverland, which counts as traveling in a strange land. And 21 is Recycle a Bingo Square. Use a square from a previous year as long as it does not repeat one on the current card. Hard mode. Not very clever of us, but do the hard mode for the original square. Apologies that there are no hard modes for bingo challenges before 2018. But that still leaves you with 7 years of challenges with hard modes to choose from. And I went with a book that's been on my TBR for over a year. I went with The Rise of Koshi by F.C. He. I've been wanting to get to this book, and it's on my 25 and 25 list, and I'm hoping to get to it this year. The 22 prompt is Cozy SSF. Cozy is up to your preferences for what you find comforting, but the genre typically features relatable characters, low stakes, minimal conflict, and a happy ending. Hard mode. The author is new to you. And I went with Wee Rich by Lucy Jane Wood. I've heard a few people talk about it, but I haven't really heard much online about it. But I'm hoping to get to it since it's about, I believe her name is Belladonna for short, and she's a burnt out witch. The 23 prompt is generic title. Read a book that has one or more of the following words in the title: blood, bone, broken court, dark, shadow, song, sword, or throne. Hard mode. The title contains more than one of the listed words, or contains at least one word and a color, number, or animal. And the book that I chose is Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Bronick. And it reminds me of Hansel and Gretel, so I can't wait to get to that book. And then the 4th prompt is not a book. Something else besides reading a book. Watch a TV show, play a game, learn how to summon a demon. Anything but reading a book can be used for this prompt. Hard mode. Write and post review to our fantasy. We have a review thread every Tuesday that is a great place to post these reviews. The 25th prompt is pirates. Read a book where characters engage in piracy. Hard mode is not a seafaring pirate. And I went with Glint by Raven Kennedy because I read the first book. I know that it involves pirates in the story. If you are going to be participating in the Art Fantasy Bingo Challenge, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you have some idea of what books you want to put on your TBR for the Art Fantasy Reading Challenge for the year. I hope to see you next time. Bye!